Hey there, it's me, Nate, and this week there's not going to be any review, but I do want to give you guys an update on what I'm reading and what's going on. So let's just hop into it. So in last week's video, I talked about I was going to read a couple of Star Wars books. I did. One of them was a reread. The other one I was reading for the first time. I ended up not liking either one. And then since then, it has just been a string of DNFs, like back to back, like nothing is hitting. Which is a good and a bad thing. For one thing, some of these rereads I'm doing, they are like books I had read years ago that I have on my bookshelf in my collection. And if I don't like them anymore, I can just get rid of them and save some space. Because if you're a physical collector of anything, whether it's games, movies, or books, you know that you are always starving for more space. So it is good in the sense that I am clearing out books I no longer want to keep. I can give them away. And I'm not throwing away books or anything. My mother has a friend who has like a small kind of like a library thing where she gives books away to people. So I just kind of donate my books that I don't want anymore. It is also bad though, because like I said, there's not going to be any review this week. There's just going to be this video. So hopefully I will have a review out next week. But even though it has been pretty much just DNFs, I do have a couple of books that I tried out that I do have some more expanded thoughts on. So after the Star Wars books, I picked up Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. I like the first book, Legends and Lattes, and Bookshops and Bone Dust is a prequel to Legends and Lattes. It takes place like 20-something-ish years before Legends and Lattes, and it stars Viv again, but when she's like 16 or something like that. And after being injured on a job, with like this mercenary crew that she's with, she is forced to basically recuperate until the mercenary band comes back around to pick her up in this small coast town. And while there, she finds this bookshop and discovers her love of reading and tries to help this down on its luck bookshop and bookshop owner turn their luck around. And I think it has like a charming premise, but unlike Legends of Lattes, it doesn't recapture that same magic. It doesn't have any of that same kind of charm or like fun, cozy characters compared to Legends of Lattes. So I didn't get super far in it. It just didn't grab a hold of me at all, really. So, I know some people will say, oh, if you love Legends of Lattes, you'll love Bookshops and Bone Dust. I don't think so. I think Legends of Lattes is really good. You can watch my review of that. I did the review of that earlier this year, or maybe it was late last year, here on the channel. But I definitely don't think that this book is as good as that. And so I picked up a couple of things. I picked up 2 books this past week. So I actually got a new hardback of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. My copies of Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets were really old and beat up, so I kind of just wanted new ones. And so after bailing or DNFing on Bookshops and Bone Dust, I was going down my list. The next one up, somewhere in there, was Chamber of Secrets. So I picked up Chamber of Secrets. And I think the beginning is good, like where Harry is back with the Dursleys, and he meets Dobby, and then the Weasleys, Ron and Fred and George come and pick up Harry, and then there's probably like a little chunk where Harry's like living with the Weasleys at the Burrow, and that's great. And then after that, I feel like Chamber of Secrets kind of really falls off a cliff. unless you're reading it or watching the movie or whatever for the first time. So let me explain that. So I've probably read the whole Harry Potter book series twice, and then I've probably watched all the movies probably like 3 or 4 times or more in my life. So I'm very like intimately familiar with like what happens in each of the books, in the movies. And so on this reread, I find that I don't think Chamber of Secrets really holds up on a reread. And because Chamber of Secrets is in a lot of ways kind of the sophomore slump of the series. Just doing a little bit of reading around, a lot of people find Chamber of Secrets to be the weakest book in the series. And after rereading it this time, I would have to agree with that sentiment. Because Chamber of Secrets, outside of its like whodunit mystery, that's like the core plot, like once Harry gets to Hogwarts, it is mostly a retread of Sorcerer's Stone, or a Philosopher's Stone for those who are in the UK or elsewhere outside of America. It is very much a retread of the first book, and so it comes off very kind of boring. And the new characters it does introduce aren't super interesting. Like there's Colin Creevey, who's like this new first year that's a huge Harry Potter fan. He's always trying to take a picture of him. And then there's Justin Finch Fletchley, who's one of the Venoms of the Chamber of Secrets. And there's Gilderoy, who is funny. And then there's Dobby. And for the series as a whole, we have, like Dobby does come back later in the series, but I don't think he comes back until Goblet of Fire or Order of Phoenix, one of those. I could be wrong. Maybe he comes back in Prisoner of Azkaban. It has been a bit since the last time I read these, but I just find that like Chamber of Secrets is such like a retread of the first book, and the surprise of what happens with Chamber of Secrets, like once you've already experienced it, and then like going back to it, like you don't have the benefit of the surprise of of not knowing what's gonna happen. So it on reread or re-experience, I find Chamber of Secrets to be a very weak book. I don't think it's bad. I think it's okay. But the reason I'm not doing a review of it is because I only got to like halfway through it, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm bored to hell. Like I know what's gonna happen, and like the other elements of Chamber of Secrets aren't that interesting. Because even with the core characters with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they don't really like progress or change or grow at all really in Chamber of Secrets. Like Ron gets some more character moments. Like he gets to do like a little bit more than he did in Sorcerer's Stone. But it's, I don't know, outside of that, there's not really much to Chamber of Secrets. So honestly, while I was thinking about it as I was reading the book, I was like, man, I'd much rather we watching the movie of Chamber of Secrets. I think the Chamber of Secrets movie is a lot better and holds up a lot better on rewatch, than rereading the book of Chamber of Secrets. So that's just my 2 cents. But I still plan to read the rest of the books and do reviews of those at some point on the channel. And I really wanted to have this new hardback because mine was old and beat up. So I'm glad to got both of these new hardbacks. And so that's the last of like the DNFs I'm going to talk about. But so now I'm moving on to what I'm currently reading. So right now I am reading The Novice by Taran Matharu. This is a reread for me. I read this, I don't know, years and years ago. And I'm not super far in. I'm pretty early. I'm on like chapter 8, I think is what I got to. And I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. It is YA fantasy. Let me see if they got a good... Yeah, okay. So, what it's about... hold on. before I get into the summary, so The Novice is book 1 of the Summoner series by Taran Matharu. It's a trilogy. Yeah, it's a trilogy, and then like there's like a prequel book that Matharu released like a year or two after the trilogy. Don't read that prequel book. It's trash. It's like straight trash. And it like, I like prequels because usually they can like expand upon the things you know, but like that book, I think it's called like The Outsider. But that book is mostly just like retells you things you already know in a really in a very rushed and poorly executed manner. So don't buy that book. But the Summoner books, the main character, Fletcher, he is an orphan who has been taken in by a blacksmith, and becomes a blacksmith's apprentice in this small village in the north of this kingdom called, the village is called Pelt, by the way. And he is a blacksmith's apprentice, and he one day after an altercation, he finds a magic scroll that allows him to summon a demon. And because in this world, mages, they gain their powers by making contracts with creatures from another world called demons. And then by having those contracts, they gain access to magic. And once he gains a scroll, he has to flee his village. And when he does, he ends up being able to go to like the battle mage school, and joins the school, and meets other kids. He meets people from other races like the dwarves and the elves, and he learns to utilize his magic. And he wants to find out more about who he is, because he is an orphan. He was abandoned naked in the snow as a baby, and was taken in by Bairden, who is the blacksmith that he apprentices under. And so it is your kind of coming of age fantasy story. It is very it is YA, but not in a super hard to read way if you're an adult. For example, I was reading one of the books I was trying this week before I recorded this. I was trying to reread Armada by Ernest Cline, and I just couldn't get the dialogue. There's something about teenager dialogue written by some authors that, now that I'm an adult, I find it really cringe, and I can't handle it. But yeah, that's what I'm reading right now, The Novice by Taran Matharu, and after that, I plan to read the second book, The Inquisition by Taran Matharu. So I'll have those two back to back. So that's my plans for right now. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't have anything major to talk about otherwise. Yeah. I think after... Let's see. Yeah, so sorry that there's no review this week. I apologize about that. But I definitely don't want to try to force something out that I'm not satisfied with, that's not worth you guys' time. So yeah, thanks for watching if you made it to the end of the video. So if you could subscribe to the channel, comment down below, let me know what you guys are reading, what you're enjoying, and have a good day.